Good morning. We're here this morning to talk about an exciting art exhibit at the Open Space Visitor Center. My name is Noelle Chilton, Open Space Coordinator at the Visitor Center, and we're here with Kent Swanson, Manager of the Visitor Center, and the artist Cornelia Timer Gardella and Emily Riegfeld Vilander, and we're going to discuss what's going on in the show and what's happening at the Visitor Center in general. So we'll start with you, Kent, if you don't mind. If you could just provide us an overview of the Open Space Division's mission and its operations.
Absolutely, and I just wanted to first thank you both for participating in this exhibit. We're really excited, and thanks to Noelle for coordinating the gallery, and it's really an honor to have your work in the gallery and at the Visitor Center. And really the Open Space Visitor Center is the interpretive hub for the entire Open Space Division, which is part of City Parks and Recreation, and we manage about 30,000 acres of public land for outdoor recreation, wildlife preservation, and cultural resource preservation. And the Visitor Center is a destination in of itself because we have 55 acres of really remarkable grounds, including 18 acres of agricultural fields. We have interpretive gardens, and of course the gallery, and different spaces and exhibit rooms that are permanent exhibits that people can come and learn more about the open space program, the lands that we protect, and the art itself really is something that we utilize to show the beauty of open space lands and also have a dialogue about the importance of protecting and promoting public lands and nature and wildlife in general. So the artwork that we feature really serves that purpose in a unique way, bringing creative minds from all over the world to exhibit and to see the artwork. So we're really excited by the gallery and the work that we have to show. So
great. And you touched on it a little bit, but can you describe how and when the Visitor Center came about?
So the Visitor Center is this September going to be 11 years old. It opened to the public in September 11 years ago in this fall. And it was originally created as an interpretive site for part of the petroglyph national monument, the Piedras Marcadas Pueblo ruin. And when the owners of the home that is now the Visitor Center, the Roberson family, realized that the city was looking for an interpretive center for the site, they actually offered their home and the 18 acres of farmland as a visitor center, and the city realized that by purchasing that home and the property, it would have an opportunity to have a site that could be used beyond the original mission of interpreting the Pueblo, and so they expanded it to have it be an interpretive center for the entire Open Space Division, which the Open Space Division is one of the top in the country, actually, in terms of the diversity of lands that we manage and the acreage. And so it is really something worth showing off. And then the gallery evolved over time with staff to really take advantage of the beautiful space that we have to showcase some of the top artists in the state and internationally as well. So that's kind of the origin of the site, and it's a great destination for performing arts, visual arts, educational opportunities for folks to come and learn about anything from composting to native plants. We have birding hikes, and we have a variety of programs to learn about the culture and the natural history of New Mexico and the Southwest. So it's a really wonderful site, and one of the best things about it is the artwork. So.
And one of them is, or one ongoing one, is the Textile Journeys exhibit. It's up in the gallery until October 22nd. And so Cornelia and Emily are the featured artists. And so Cornelia, if you first, and then Emily, if you could describe your art practice and how you got to this point in terms of education and life experience.
Well, first of all, thank you to the Open Space Visitor Center Gallery for inviting us to have this exhibition. It's a beautiful space. and it's we're very honored to have our work shown there. And yes, how did I get there? I am an artist who works with fiber arts and also photography. So I like to do various things. And in the show right now, I'm showing hand-woven wall pieces and also portraits, photo portraits.
Great.
And I've always been interested in art, but my traditional fiber arts training I got at Northern New Mexico College on the El Rito campus.
Nice.
And yes, I studied traditional New Mexican fiber arts, the weaving, the spinning, the natural dyeing, the synthetic dyeing. And then that was my fiber arts starting point, and now I'm interested in contemporary fiber arts, and my pieces are very abstract, I would say, abstractions of landscapes.
Mm-hmm.
And so after I finished my studies at Northern New Mexico College in 2007, I went on to work as a studio artist, and I've been going to Iceland recently for art residencies, and I think those residencies really propelled my work forward.
That's great. And you were born in Germany, right?
I'm from Germany, yes.
Okay. So it must
Yes.
have been a big shift when you came to New Mexico the first time.
Yes, but
In between.
I was, from the first time I came to New Mexico, I was in love with New Mexico, and that was the reason why I came to study here.
Nice.
I wasn't looking for a fiber arts program, and then went to that place. I was looking for a reason to be in New Mexico.
Nice.
Yes, and in the desert.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Emily, can you describe your art practice?
Yeah, I'm an artist from Sweden, and I work mostly with like large-scale installations. And yeah, my background is in fiber arts, I guess, too. Now working my way out of different materials. So yeah, and I have a MA in fine arts from Gothenburg in Sweden. And yeah, I work a lot with like my own memories from my childhood, and like to take control over things that I didn't have control over then.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my installations is set in like a child's room.
Okay.
So I work with like textiles and like the memories preserved in the textiles. So it's like all found material.
Right.
So usually when I work in Sweden, I work with like my own things from my own childhood, but that isn't applicable to to bring all the furniture here.
Right.
So now I've been around like different secondhand stores and like gathering furniture and have some textiles from Sweden and like combine my story with this place story somehow. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, we saw you embroidering fabric onto the crib. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So this exhibit, I think, might stretch some people's definition of art, but I think it's very exciting because it involves installations and some other non-traditional pieces. So how does collaboration play a role in your work?
Yeah, in my work in general, it's I like to do some work myself, and then I think I like broaden my views, like with bringing people into the work, and it becomes something else when you have to like negotiate two or more like art, like views on art.
Right. Yeah. And we were going to talk a little bit about that more later, because we were going to talk about how you integrate and how you reconcile your different styles and your focuses. And also, but before that, can you touch on how you met and how you got started on this 3-year-long collaboration?
Yeah. We met in the summer of 2015 at the Icelandic Textile Center in Blönduós, Iceland, where we were both resident artists. And we worked alongside each other. We shared a studio space. So these residencies where the artists live together are, in my opinion, very intense because you're surrounded by artists all the time, and that's what I love about residencies. And the art discussions start before breakfast in the kitchen and go way past midnight, especially in June and July in Iceland, where the sun doesn't set or hardly sets. It's one long day. And the artists are in the studio at midnight in full sunshine.
Right. Wow.
So that's when we met, and that's when we realized that we're both very interested in land and how we relate to land, and how the people that we meet in the different landscapes. And that's when we had the idea, when it was time to say goodbye, we said, no, we need to continue. And we need to continue working together now, not alongside each other on our individual projects, but together.
That's great.
Yeah.
So just in a few minutes, if you could describe again, I know you talked a little bit about the installations that you have. If you could talk about the photography and then kind of what your next steps are. This is your current step, and then what's happening next.
Should I start? Okay. Yeah, so in the ongoing show, I have weavings and photography. And just real quick, the weavings are all the common theme we had for this show, because Emily was here last October, September, October. We went through New Mexico and the different fiber places and art places, and what kept popping up again and again was the the traditional churro wool.
Right.
And so that's what we're using in all, or what we used in all the pieces for this show.
That's great.
And then the photography part of my show is an ongoing portrait project that I am working on, where I take portraits of people in the landscapes that I'm interested in remote places, and to get a closer connection to the people, because working at the loom can be very solitary and lonely at times, and this allows me to get out and talk to people and experience the landscape with them. And in this show, I just have a selection of 4 portraits from New Mexico, 2 from Sweden, where we worked together last year, and 2 from Iceland.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your stay here in New Mexico, and we look forward to hearing what's next, what's going to happen with Textile Journeys in its next adventure. And thank you.